but specifically Uncharted, in terms of what Uncharted could be, like, you can still use that brand without Nathan Drake, I think. Like, I do think you can make an Uncharted game that, kind of like your Fear the Walking Dead analogy, like, spiritually, like, Uncharted, like, yeah, there's all these great characters that we know and love, and who I super feel like got, like, a really nice, like, cap on the end of it with Uncharted 4, but it's like, I really do feel like you can take that, like, that trope that Indiana Jones is born from, and that so many other things of that, like, adventurer and that, like, serialized story about, like, oh, like, these crazy adventures they go on. Like, I think you could do that. Like, I would still love to see, I mean, like, it's funny because we have Tomb Raider, right? But it's like, I think you can tell stories like that, but, like, Naughty Dog could just do it in someone else is a treasure hunter, someone else is going on treasure hunting adventures through history set in the modern day.
My concern would be...
I don't want that.
Well, I mean...
See, I feel like I do want that.
I only want it if it's Nathan Drake. Like,
Really?
I play Uncharted for Nathan Drake.
I love Nathan Drake, and I love those characters. Like, I think the relationship between, like, Drake and Sully, or
That's
Drake and
why I
Elena,
play
or
it,
any of them,
is for those
totally
relationships.
some of the best in games ever. But
So
that
why do you
said,
think they
like,
couldn't do that with a new character?
Exactly, because, like, in The Last of Us, they
I
did,
just wouldn't
right?
want it, I guess. Like,
listen,
I would,
if
if they
a thing-
were to make it a new character, I think I would want a new setting.
If a thing is successful and it has a name, you don't change the host of it. Ever.
I really do feel like I'm almost in the boat where I never want to see Nathan Drake again.
I
think
don't
this is
either. No,
such a
I don't
good-
want to either. But my point is, like, I would prefer that they left Uncharted with 4 and leave it how it is than to have Uncharted with a different character.
I think
I
the
prefer
problem-
for it to just be
The
connected.
problem becomes that it sold 2.7 million copies.
No,
Yes.
the problem is the thing you're going to get is you're going to get another Uncharted. It's not going to be Naughty Dog.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say the
True.
exact same thing. So you look at AMC, right? And look at Vincent Gilligan, and look at Breaking Bad. That's a guy that was like, this is a story I want to tell. This is how I want to tell it. This is how long it's going to take for me to tell. And they're like, you have all the freedom you want. We're going to take the last season and cut it in half, but that's about it. Otherwise, we're not going to mess with you. And then I think they probably met in the middle on, man, this is so hot. People still want something from it. I'll do Better Call Saul. Here's my spin-off show.
That's why we got Arkham Origins.
Or, Better Call Sam or whatever. Better Call Sully. So I think, like, Arkham Origins is a great example of, like, they wanted some time off, and they got this. You got this game that's now like this weird stepchild that they won't even put in.
They
the
don't even
HD
acknowledge.
package.
Yeah.
Which I liked that game.
I mean, the difference there is that, like, Better Call Saul is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's
is.
whereas Arkham Origins was not up to the
fine.
level of the
No.
Yeah, but
now
there are a lot of Breaking
still-
Bad fans that don't like Better Call Saul because it doesn't have that.
But it's also not a perfect analogy because, like, Vince Gilligan is still involved in that show,
Yes,
and most of the writing staff is still involved in that show. Whereas Arkham Origins was literally a different team, in
entirely.
a different country.
So do you think this would be one? I mean, this really comes down to, like, how cool Sony is. Like, if they're cool with just being like, well, these guys own this property. Like, look at Robert Zemeckis, right? He was like, no one will make another Back to the Future while I'm still alive. Like, that guy will have to die for them to be like, we're making a sequel to that film or a reboot. So with this,
Now
it's
Marty
sort of,
McFly's a girl.
yeah.
But Sony
The
Ben,
hoverboard's a girl.
I mean, Sony Ben made an Uncharted game, right? And I think
Yeah.
Golden Abyss is arguably better than Uncharted 1. Like, I think, like, Sony has a super talented pool of studios that they own, and Bend is one of them. Whatever the hell else they're doing, please announce your game. But I think, like, there are plenty of people who can take that franchise and still make it great, and they don't even have. It doesn't even have to be a WB Montreal thing.
Yeah.
It can be another. Like, Bend was an awesome solution for, hey, who do we have making an Uncharted game on Vita because Naughty Dog doesn't want to.
It's such hard shoes to fill, though.
Yeah.
You know, like,
It is,
where they
yeah.
left it right now, like, just even just visually or just storytelling wise, the benchmarks of Uncharted 4 are unprecedented.
I mean, it is tough because, like, to bring it back to Ratchet and Clank, like, that series got sullied a little bit after Crack and Town. The thing I was gonna say was, I can imagine if you die in your sci-fi game instead of a Vuvuzela playing, it's just a theremin.
There is totally a thing with, like, Jared Petty wrote a feature about this not that long ago about how Fallout 4 should be the last Fallout game, and he got a lot of hate for it. Probably from people who didn't read it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, the idea is that if something is really, really good, then why not leave on that good note? Like, I'm happy for Silent Hill PT to be the last PT ever because it's so good. It's like nothing that's going to come after that is probably ever going to top PT for me. That's pretty much the same way that I feel about Uncharted 4. Like, I'm happy for it to be the last Uncharted thing because I like it so much.
And again, without spoiling the ending, like, everything feels self-contained there. You know,
I love that ending so much.
There are possibilities of other things starting anew or happening somewhere else, but everything feels self-contained. It's satisfactory to the point where I almost like winced at the idea of single player DLC because I'm like, I don't know if I need any more. Like this felt perfectly wrapped up in it.
That's how I felt about The Last of Us, and then Left Behind was great.
This is
also
also
it was different because it was like, oh, we're gonna tackle this from a separate
Naughty Dog
angle.
will do that same
My
thing.
thing is like these are also the conversations I've been having since I was a kid about how Return of the Jedi was a perfect ending, and I really like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like I feel like honestly like
If you wait
we
long
think-
enough, there's totally an
well, and they
exception
will.
to that
Like,
rule.
I don't think Uncharted 5 is going to be announced at E3 or
that's
Wait
a bad
10 years
example,
and I will
because
play the hell out of Uncharted
We got
5.
3 bad Star Wars stories before Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, I think like look, like
Come at me.
to me, there's no world. There's no world where we don't see Uncharted in the
Right.
next 4
No,
years.
I
like
think
it's the
you're
same
right,
thing with
yeah.
like Bioshock and all these things that are dormant. Like those things make too much money to just be dead forever.
Right,
And so
right.
I do think like it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I hope they take a little bit of time. I would imagine if Last of Us 2 rumors are real, that Naughty Dog does that for a while, and then they're going to sit down and be like, well, do we want to make another Uncharted, or does someone else want to make it? And I think Sony is good enough to their studios that they'll let them be the ones to make that decision.
Yeah.
Well,
but
there's
we
also-
will
Yeah.
get an Uncharted game.
There's also like
Yeah,
I mean
we
to go
will.
back to Star Wars, like they're making a young Han Solo movie, and I would have never thought in a million years that would be a thing, even 5 years
Also
ago.
because the actor is probably older than Harrison Ford was.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
after
I mean,
New Hope.
the whole thing's very weird, but it's like, yeah, maybe tell a story about Nathan Drake when he was 22 years old. Like, and how many times
Yeah.
in these games now have they picked up the needle and been like, here he was when he was 10 or 15, and here he is. I mean, this.
I mean, I
feel-
love
really
all
like
that
this,
flashback
You
stuff.
really like this needle picking up.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's
a heroin term, right?
No, it's a DJ term.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brian's first job was picking up needles.
It is absolutely a DJ term.
Yeah, it is.
Picking up needles?
Well, you don't
Yeah.
DJ. You DJ off a
I don't
MacBook.
DJ with records. No, I don't.
Well, what do you use?
CDJs?
Oh, you use CDJs. Okay, so for centuries,
Not,
turntables
not centuries.
turntables worked like you picked up a needle and you put
Yeah,
it down somewhere.
I'm familiar
Okay,
with.
so then that's the. Well, then why are you pretending like you're not? Damn it, Alonso.
Anyway, I think that this is kind of similar to how I feel about Arkham right now. Is that I wouldn't want another Batman game, but I feel like we will probably get one eventually, but I wouldn't want it for a long time. Like, I think there's totally an exception to the rule. Like, right now, Uncharted is great, and I think they should leave it.
Yeah.
What I want from Naughty Dog right now, I want The Last of Us 2.
The thing about Batman is though, like they reboot that dude every 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and also like Telltale's making a Batman game that I would imagine is very different than Arkham. You know, if
Yeah, it's
someone
not
else
gonna- it's not
makes
gonna
an
fit into
Uncharted
that
game,
story.
like if they make an Uncharted game someday, it doesn't necessarily like this is with Naughty Dog sensibilities, but like another studio might put their own
Telltale?
sensibilities in. Like Telltale. I would play that.
Yeah, I would too,
Telltale.
actually.
Yeah, but the problem
Yeah.
is that the reason people want Telltale to make games is because they're incredible writers
Yes.
and tell
Yeah.
incredible stories. Yeah, like Naughty Dog's one of the few companies in this entire industry that
already has
rivals
that
that. They're
down.
like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, they don't
we're
need
good
the
at
help.
that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if anything, like I would love an a game in the Uncharted world or that vibe where they just strip away the combat. Like I'm totally
Yeah.
fine if this person's just a legitimate archaeologist.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I love
treasure
that.
hunting, and you're out there with your
Well,
buddies.
I've
and
always thought
That's
that
a lot
all-
of climbing for one game.
Yeah.
just, how about you don't climb either? You're slightly out of shape.
It's
So it's like
flat on
Altair?
purpose.
Slightly out of
just
shape.
slide.
You only go downhill.
Slightly out of shape pacifist.
It's an enemy
Which is
butt
Firewatch.
slider. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I want. It's Firewatch.
Yeah, that's
Never
like
Firewatch.
how Altair is in Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Oh,
Yeah.
old man Altair?
Yeah.
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 Which was awesome. I love that
Oh,
stuff.
I want to be an old boy. Yeah, I want to be someone
You
old.
just want to be Altair.
You just want to play as a literal archaeologist sitting at a desk.
I agree with you that the.
It's like papers, please, but archaeology.
Yeah, that's not. You guys are not. This is why we're here and not working on video games right now.
What if we took out all
Hey.
of the gameplay?
To be fair, Mitch had as many dumb ideas as we did, and he gets to make a video game.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know what to say about that. I think he was just Canadian and then he moved to
Yeah.
Canada. Like,
Yep.
that's just,
Oh, that Canadian privilege.
Yeah.
You don't hear about it a lot.
That's because they apologize
People just
after.
throw jobs at them
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
If you like that speculation, just wait for this next topic.
That's true.
No, honestly, just let us know what you want from the next Uncharted game, or what you want from single player DLC, or what you want from the next Naughty Dog game in general. Let's move away from Uncharted, just period, and just do what I did. Come up with a family hard sci-fi film that takes place on a distant planet where you can use lasers to shoot monsters, and it's not gross.
And
or
when you
Marty's
die, the
game
thermite
about
voice.
academia.
Yeah,
Hey, I think Marty's game about academia would sell very well to Marty.
yeah. Sorry if you
Marty.
bumped your head while falling asleep listening to that pitch.